My cousin wrote Rio and I wrote ski. My claim... Go ahead, talk to me. One, two, one, two, one, two. Check, 1, 2. Peace, my name is BlusterOne. These following words are regarded by the FBI as the X-Files. I was born in 1970 in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. My mother and father are from Puerto Rico. Me being in New York makes me a New Yorican. I gotta do that again. All right, peace, this is BlusterOne. These following words are regarded by the FBI as the X-Files. I was born in 1970 in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. My mother and father are from Puerto Rico, but me being born in New York makes me a New Yorican. The Lower East Side has always been known as the home to many artists and musicians. In the 40s and 50s, a lot of jazz musicians lived in the Lower East Side. The most famous was Charlie Parker. In the 80s, painters like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring did a lot of their works and networking in the Lower East Side. On the art level, where Fab Five, Freddie, and and Jean-Michel and all the writers, like when they had shows down there, they established what they did or whatever in the lower. That was where you had was the X Gallery. I met Knock there. I met Kano there. Futura there. On 2. And that was back in 1981, I think. Or, I don't know, like 1981 or 1982. But it was like, if it wasn't for that show that was in the lower, I would never have met them cats. Another prominent painter who also called the Lower East Side home was Lee Quiñones, who was still working hard and still rocking. Although it was my cousin who turned me on to graffiti, I was really inspired by a famous handball court that Lee had painted. It was of Howard the Duck blocking himself with a garbage can lid from a radiating green Lee piece. That joint really, really moved me because I would sit in front of it and try to duplicate it, but it never came out as fresh as Lee's. Soon after that, I would spend Sunday afternoons with my cousin after church in his room, drawing and practicing tags and throw-up styles. My cousin wrote Rio and I wrote ski. My claim to fame was my specialty in duplicating a Tracy 168 style character. It's the one with the shades and the pushback hairstyle. After dinner, we used to practice, and it made its way from the books down the stairwells and eventually out to the streets. We used to write on trucks, walls, telephone booths, wherever. We just practice with ink, spray paint, pencils, pens, whatever we had in our hands. After 5 years in Catholic school, I teamed up with a friend of mine. His name was DM1. He's the one who played some part in me coming up with the name. Still addicted to the graffiti drug, I applied to the High School of Art and Design. The goal was to get into the school, not to really be in school, but rather be surrounded by all the other graffiti writers. At one time or another, Doze, Poke, Pays, Size, and Say were there. That sounds kind of weird. Sorry. Outside of the graffiti world, Calvin Klein and Stan Lee of Marvel and Tony Bennett went there too. It just sounds weird. So I applied and I got in. That was a dope school because at the time, all the graffiti writers went there. I was exposed to painted jeans, jackets, portfolios, etc., etc. If you wrote, that's what you did. The first person who hit me on the head with that was Poke, IBM. Black books by the dozens, graffiti stories by the ciphers. As time went by, my interest for traditional graffiti sort of faded. I've never painted trains as they had because my parents would kick my ass. Yo, I'm reading this shit and it just sounds really, really weird. Okay, anyway. I've never painted trains. I never did that because one time I came home and I was dirty from head to toe. They kicked my ass. That was a wrap. After bombing the N train at the Manhattan Bridge, never again would I do that. I kept my bombing above ground. In my second year of high school, I met my best friend and future partner as well, Brew. My interest in art grew from graffiti to fine arts, especially painting and drawing. I wanted to make art my profession. I graduated and went to the Columbus College of Art and Design, where I received a degree in fine arts. And I kept that graffiti background popping. It always showed up in most of my work, in all of my work, from paintings to fine arts to drawing. Somehow, some way that graffiti style crept in, somehow, some way. Since graduation, my experiences came full circle when the formal introductions to both Surge and West were made and the PNB Nation squad defined. Right now, I'm working at Rockaware, and I think it's important that you have old school guys, not old school guys, but guys that come from the same school of thought, that do the same thing, doing fashion and explaining, showing the world how it's done from a hip-hop level. But we're not just stuck with hip-hop, hip-hop, hip-hop. We just see things a little differently from the Madison Avenue cats. We as hip-hop cats or whatever, we invent style. As my man said, we invented this shit. I continue to paint under the name BlusterOne FC, and my experiences have taken me to Japan and other parts of Asia. I've always had this whole thing with going away to Japan, because to me, Japan, in an art sense and design level, they've always been out there. They've always been on some next shit. Anyway, so the way that time has and God has made things happen, I started going out there through PNB, doing PNB business, because it got large in the underground world. These people in Japan took note, invested in it, brought it out there, and they blew it up out there. They had men's and kids and women and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I have been going out there since 99, back and forth, maybe once a year, twice a year, and I still do mad business with these people out there as far as art and T-shirts and graphics and doing me, just doing what I do. A limited edition sneaker for pro kids, T-shirt prints, fashion, paintings, murals. Wow. I've done mad shit out there. I've done mad shit, specifically art. Okay. I've participated in countless productions as well as exhibitions, thanks to another inspiring individual named David Squirm Ellis of the Barnstormers. How would I define my own personal style as an artist? Original, because I take what's going on from the right to left and all over. I take that shit in and just recycle it and put it in different ways. So I'm constantly building, but my style is just constant movement and elevation. I believe the Lower East Side style, for me personally, from the years, like, it hits me from like 1979 to like 1990 about. I think that the style at that time was gritty, but there was a sincerity, you know, because we did what we did, how we did what we did. It was just part of the food, part of the family, part of it was in the air. You know what I mean? It's a different thing. It's a different thing from then than it is now. Back then, like, back then there was no way that you could walk on like Pitt Street or C or B and it be safe. Not safe where you're going to get got, but you definitely had to walk around with your eye, to the side. And now it's really, really safe. You can walk around in short shorts with your ass out and it'd be cool because it's hip. Not me. But anyway, back then, that style back then was raw, pure, sincere, humble. But it was what it was. It was like it was just real. I can't even explain. I don't have any words for it. It was the anti now. You know what I mean? Now there's like 20 bars on one block, and back then there was like one bar in the whole entire, it was like one bar in the Lower East Side. Crazy crack dens and shooting galleries and all that shit. It was crazy then. I love my kids a lot. I want to say that. I want to say peace to a very important person in my life from the Lower East Side. His name is Chris Manley, a.k.a. Hesk, Hesc. And they took his life last year, 2005, May 22nd. And to me, you know what? To me, that cat was the Lower East Side. He was so deep that he started his own store. It was called My Life. And he kept on talking about, Blus, we're going to do this. Blus, yo, you have to keep on with the art, Blus. And so I want to take this time to say that he's missed dearly. I know the Du brothers, they miss him. And Ready for Action crew, we miss him. And I love the Lower East Side. The Lower East Side, man, that's of then. The Lower East Side of then is important, man.
So what is it now?
Now it's, $4,000 rents, crazy drunken white people. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I go back down there and I just feel like I'm not wanted. I don't feel home. I don't feel home. I feel like they look at me like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. Nah.
So wait a minute, you don't live on the Lower East Side anymore?
No, I don't live on Lower East Side, but the LES is still here.
How come you don't live on the Lower East Side anymore?
I don't live on Lower East Side because things got a little hectic. I lost a bunch of friends from Lower East Side, but economically and financially, just you can't do it. I mean, I can't do it because my money is not that large. You go from I was paying for a 2-bedroom, $700, and that was high. You can't get that nowhere right now in the Lower East Side. For $700, you know what? You could spend that at a bar because beers are even crazy. But I moved out. I'm uptown in Washington Heights right now. Okay. Since that last time, I went down there. I went back down there about a week ago to go see my aunt. And Jesus, my aunt still lives in Masaryk. That's between Pitt and Columbia. But just walking around there, I just kind of felt really, really weird. It's crazy, man. I mean, stores that my mother used to take me to are not there anymore. And they're building homes on top of roofs and shit, penthouses and lofts on top of roofs. They're building on top of shit, and it's crazy, man. But it just made me feel really weird again. I can't explain it. I mean, do we need more bars and more lounges and more cafes and more bullshit? I can't afford it. I don't want to go back down there to live. But yeah, so since then, I went back down there, and it's just weird to me. It's like some sort of museum or some shit. I don't know. It's just not the same. It's not the same. God bless you. I just think about back in the days. I think about back in the days when things were so rich and important, and just it was so sincere. But when you look at it now, man, like there are people making tons of money from what we made, and not just we coming from coming from the Lower East Side, but they're making just us with like us in the hip hop level, from like graph to just the whole shit. It's like it's spun out, and we're still in the grind, which is cool. But fuck, I want to make some chips too. I'm not a king of no line, nor a king of whatever. I'm an artist who loves to experiment with typography and paint. I'm an artist who loves life. I'm an artist who loves his roots. I'm an artist who fears God. And I'm an artist who loves the female anatomy. I'm an artist who loves to practice. I'm me. Peace. BlusterOne FC. To me, keeping my background in graph in the foreground is important because it is graph that has made me who I am today. I'm not a king of no lines or nothing. I'm a painter and an artist who loves to experiment with typography and paint. I love life, my kids, my family. I'm an artist who fears God. I'm an artist who loves the female anatomy. I'm an artist who loves to practice. I'm me.
Buster, how much time do I got? You gotta go.
So, that said, graph, if it wasn't for graph, I wouldn't be where I am today. Being born in the Lower East Side and being exposed to that soulful culture, family foundation, I wouldn't be here today. And that's the truth, Ruth.
What, that's the end of the book?
That's the end of the book.
Oh, okay.
That's the end of the book.